I'm not the type of a coach. Let's say, soon as I keep extracting, when I'm saying okay,
okay.
Keep extracting. I want to produce players who perform at the highest level. I then came up with the concept Mpumalanga Open, which is the tournament at the highest level. In fact, this year, it was groundbreaking because it was the highest prize. It was the highest prize money tournament in the country. Also, the aim, next year, is to make it even bigger, so that we can attract international players to come and play. And so during Mpumalanga Open, we are going to operate what we call Mpumalanga Open Village, which is the economic hub of the tournament.
Yes.
But the Umang nominator, what I knew would see the nomination itself was enough for me.
Yeah.
Because the nomination meant, it means 600 rand ngenyanga bebangakhona uku-investa kulo mntwana bese ayithola coaching or ayithola seat somehow so that I can develop. But mina I feel ukuthi manje they're selfish. Focus kuwo. Uprefer ukuthi ahambe ukhipha 1000 800 enhloko kumele 500 enhloko and not invest.
Hi, Sanmunawani Ninjani. The greatest thing about today is that it is the 30th of September 2024. We are actually ending a heritage month, so I'm allowed to greet you all in the 11 official languages of South Africa. Do remember, we once told you that we will bring you some epic episodes here on the People's Eye podcast. Well, definitely, this is one of the first that we do when it comes to sports. We've done a lot of lately, but this, when it comes to sports, is one of its kind. So I think my guest today is I'm really honored. It's also really honored because it's our first official guest when it comes to sports. We'll be partaking in a very different sporting code that a lot of people don't know information about. They don't have the information, rather, but today we're going to be finding the basics. Much more on my side. I am very much interested in knowing about the sports deeply. I know it, but I need to know more. But when you have a coach in the house, we have somebody who's playing sport, who understands the sports better. What not, guys? There's a lot of I'm going to spill the beans later. Because when I'm a trophy in the table, you see what's happening. So it's going to be very epic. So if you just joined us, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the People's Eye Podcast. We are on YouTube. We are running already. So make sure you increase the numbers. I did tell you my name. Chichi Kosi is the name. So welcome to the first official one when it comes to sports. So we are within and we're making things happen. Sabelo Mathebula is joining me. The name might sound familiar. The face may see it as familiar. Like, I know this guy from somewhere. Well, I'll give you a big background on where he's coming from. Firstly, I'll just tell you more about how I know him. Personally, I know him as a real personality person. And I know that he loves sports. He loves tennis more. That's close to his heart. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. But let me not do this. Guys, it's very, very important that you understand that when we bring you somebody, this person has walked miles. He has done so much before he gets to where he is today. He's got the recognition right now. He's got level 3 also. I'm just going to mention a lot. So Sabelo Mathebula is a high performance tennis coach, certified also by the International Tennis Federation, ITF in short, at level 3. So he is one of the very few coaches in the country with level 3. Amongst a few, you understand what it means. It means very few. How many of you actually understands and actually gets to know tennis? So for sure, out of 10, maybe 3. So basically today I have decided to bring you the men to open up the segment of sports and just give us a thoroughly background into where he's coming from, how these things are all about. Recently, funny enough, I read something about him that he wrote on social media because we do Zoom these people, right? So he wrote something where he's coming from, where he's dedicating, whatever he's got. I'm not going to speak the business now, but I'll let you speak. But Sabelo, how are you?
Hi, Cici.
Are you good?
I'm
very awesome. I'm great. It's month end. We're supposed to be rejoicing. We're coming from a heavy weekend. How was your weekend looking like?
My weekend was so many things were happening, as you know, in terms of sport and other stuff.
Yeah.
So Yeah, so it was hectic for everyone. Otherwise,
it was okay. I mean, I'm very energetic. It's a Monday blue one. It's crazy. It's been a crazy weekend full of a lot of sporting happening. Big shisa, but we're here. So welcome to the People's Eye podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much, and I'm grateful to see. I'm the first one to segment the sport.
Yeah.
Hopefully, there will be so many great people coming about the way party the show.
Most definitely.
We see in our province, we have a lot of people who are into sport and who are doing very well.
Yeah.
And yeah, even now I can even think we see
the people's ears, everyone want to know. So, I just want to know briefly. I know you personally, but I want you to also introduce yourself. Who is Sabelo Mathebula? If somebody wants to know you now, so we can dig deep, sit again. Who is Sabelo?
Okay, my name is Sabelo Mathebula. I was born in Mjindini, Babato, and yeah, I've
basically,
well, I wouldn't call myself a home defender.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm really going about. There was a time because but maybe before fair lab. Yeah, I'm really corner scholar and everything.
It's a long story.
Yeah, good again. I'm from a family. Links about living somewhere out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy to see I'm using the talent now to actually otherwise basically
So Sabelo Mathebula, is he married? Does he have kids? And also before we get to the part, you would see this thing of tennis, it's another different sporting code that comes with we don't do tennis. We don't wanna. What is that? So basically, are you married? Do you have kids?
Yeah, yes, and and they were talented.
Very.
Go sport, go art.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful. A decision would say to support me according to a potential level.
Yeah.
One of them recently went for efficient designing, and so in support a lot because some bonus talent like so I would say Kulisa out there little more. Exactly,
because we never got a chance to be supported. Like, hey, you feel like something about doing go and do this. But anyway, that's very much big. So I want us to get to this very important one that I think you could see. A lot of people actually they are not into the thought you would say sports. People think it's soccer. People think medicine, my local tournaments, all those things. But sports is broad. It's huge. Maningi sporting code lakona, including tennis in. You've got over 32 years experience with tennis. Inspiration. You know what? I wanna play tennis, or rather, I wanna also be a tennis coach. If you know what's in the sport, and get there. Eventually because today we'll get to the part that you do right now because you're big now and people recognize you and recognize the sport. But what really inspired you to say, you know what, I want to sit down and take a look at the sport and be part of it, whether I get by coaching, get lala, with the over 32 experience that you have so far.
Gucci and big.
But you are. Guys, if you don't start now understanding that how big you are, you will never reach that level. You are.
It's a very tennis. Angicabanga ukuthi mina ngingahlala phansi ngathi ngifuna kuba yini yabo tennis. Ngicabanga ukuthi tennis yathola mina and nakhona ngicabanga ukuthi kungaba i-purpose. Ngalinye ilanga late 80s, early 90s, somewhere there, I think 1990. makwami bekasebenza domestic work.
Okay.
Ngalinye ilanga wabuya ekhaya aphethe ama-rackets ayi-2, wooden rackets e-Dunlop. Bekuqala ngathi kusekunetennis yabo. So kanzi bekunamakhelwane wami likwatholakala ukuthi wangithatha wangiyisa e-tennis court. Khona i-tennis court ngathola labanye abantu ngifundisa and ngakhula ngadlala i-tennis and wangithatha iminyaka lo-1 iminyaka lolandzelako ngaqala participate esikolweni. And from that year 1991 angase ngamisa i-national championship ngakhona every time they say Durban. But something very special game ukuthi ngo-1993 ngaselethwa ngaba i-party team players lang-7 in the country. Lesa sikhathi phela bekindlule enkulu nami namanje ngiyi-understand. But ke lo kwenteka bekithi championship and that year besaya eBloemfontein after iphelile tournament and then selector ama-players abayi-7 so representa the black high schools in the country against Kolotebulu ngoba njengoba wathi ukuthi before 1994 bezala sort nabo badlala bona. So i-experience yami ihamba ifike lapho. Ngabuya ngathi ngaba ne-chance ke ngaba nethuba lokuthi ngikhone ukuchubekisa talent lami, but ke ngaba liphutha ngibale Mr. Khoza, Baba Henry Khoza, who is my legend, mentor yami. Like angifundisa i-tennis wangi-introduce kulokuni. Bekasebenza correctional services, so retired manje. And ngiyafisa ukuthi ngithole ilanga nendlela yokuthi ngim-honorishe because ngilokule ngikona namuhla ngenxa yakhe usaphila akafani namaye usewashiya but yena usaphila, so ngakhona ukum-honorisha ngibona ukuthi akhona ukufaka isandla empilweni yami. But I tried by all means. At some point I was when I was assigned the role of vice development officer in the province, Mpumalanga tennis. Ngaya kuye ngayomtshela because I always inform our updates about things that are happening. So ngaya ngakhona ukuthi ngimtshela ukuthi okay nyalo sengi-development officer and at some point he was a development officer in the province. And when I was appointed as a national coach for my juniors, I also went to him, so that I keep him updated about what is happening. So even beyond that, what's in the year 1997, or even before lapho, this one coach, Shalmare, wala eBombela, at some point in 1997, ngaya ku-Lydon as a coach and as a player, was introduced to professional tennis. So saya lapha eLondon, it was a great experience. So nayo ngileni nayo leya ngicabanga ukuthi mhlambe yanginiketa some kind of an idea ukuthi yini mhlambe lengayilenzela kuya phambili. But even nangaleso sikhathi I didn't know ukuthi ngahamba ngifeel khona manje.
I'm very now getting to understand where it's coming from. I mean, we only see, read, and hear the stories about it because, that's what's happening. So now I want us to take us through each and tennis. We have already touched base and here and there. It doesn't get it deep now to understand. Now, here you are, after 32 years, becoming a coach. You've already become a coach for the junior nationals. So now you are becoming a coach. What is it exactly? How is it exactly like? Coach. I mean, let's talk about the sports for a matter. In Mpumalanga, for example, it's one sport that is not that recognized. It's merely those white people that are in it. The approach to us as black people, as this to make us understand, here is tennis. It's another sport that you can enjoy because, quite honestly, I also want to play. I think it's one of the simplest sport ever, but there are basics here and there. In the approach, in the manner in which you approach us, to say, hey, come, there is tennis now.
Development officer, responsibility in the province to promote the tennis and to introduce the tennis, especially manje busy rural communities and townships, because I mean everyone una right to access a sport like a and sports in tennis cinema benefits. I was watching even yesterday. There's a woman who is 100 years. Such high tennis. Okay, so cool leader, but again, logo while playing tennis, you can see that to increase Mpumalanga because there's health benefits. In tennis. Now we go out there and and run my coaching clinics, and as part of the project here, because I have a tennis academy. I think we'll talk about it. Last year, ran my social tennis programs where we also invite adults to come and be part of the tennis, which is exciting. As we had a big number of people like you. And as we prepare for our next tournament, maybe you'll be part of those.
I saw it. I saw the social media. I'm happy that we spoke about it. It actually caught a lot of people's attention. I think people were much interested also in being part of it because it's one of those things that I mean, guys, we constantly watch football time and again. We constantly participate in the sporting code. So these are some of those sporting codes that we just genuinely want to understand. And I was like, you know what? If I bring you over as my guest, I just want to understand the depth of tennis. So now let's get to this one, which I think with you also, you are part of a lot of things. When I go through your profile, there's so much that you have done also for the communities, and I think that mainly at Skukuza, Bushbuck Ridge, those are some of the places that you usually partake in, and also in Nyalo. We're gonna touch base because I've seen some promos, Mobile Open, this and that, and at least some cousin could say as in how do you actually come to us? So now your most memorable moments or achievement as a tennis player is that there before probably being a coach, because you can either you can combine these two, or we should say these are the most memorable. I think you've hinted one already, and must memorable or achievement as a professional tennis player. This is one of those. Obviously, Wimbledon, it's also another part of the memorable things that have ever happened. So other ones.
There's so many things to touch on. The first time like introduced, especially good tennis, at the provincial level. Task people say I must, make sure we develop tennis in the province. Highlighting in that role, you could see as a groundbreaking move. We were able to establish over 15 tennis hubs in the province. That's important and give me more than personal achievement for me. But in on stuff that changes other people's lives and again, we focus even again. And so currently we have over 15 tennis hubs in the province. Even rural areas, Manje, BC, went to Bushbuck Ridge or Akoluk. There are coaches there. Something that never happened before. We try by all means, we don't just establish one, but we also take Glamour coaches for training so that they'll be equipped in knowledge and skills so that they can be able to, to pass the information or the knowledge to the kids. I always say, me as a coach, I don't like the idea. I know other people might not be happy with that statement. I'm not the type of a coach. Let's say, as soon as I keep strategy, when I'm saying okay, keep strategy. I want to produce players who perform at the highest level.
Okay.
And that's the reason I took a decision, which is another highlight. I didn't know I'll be a coach.
Okay.
Yeah. I took one step which took me out of my comfort zone. The first time it was when my levels for coaching. The first one we call it Play and Stay. It's more of a campaign where we create the awareness and especially for my beginners. I went to Soweto 2 weekends for that training because we attended for 4 days. Now every weekend learn and the following weekend. So but again, my commitment. I'm a very committed person, and I don't just I regard myself as a visionary. No, that's another.
Yeah, the most laid-back person I've ever met, including my brother, the other side, my close brother today.
Yeah.
You guys are one of those laid-back people that were like, so when you go like, who's Sabelo? Like, oh, Sabelo. Now, because there are so many initiatives that you're involved in, I think your name is popping out, hence I've mentioned a part of you are big. And you might not see that. But because of the sport that you're actually aligned with, is tennis. It's tennis like Mpumalanga. It's not recognized because of you. Who else? Yeah, and
we still have a lot of stuff to do. And even coming at the fruits with that point, because of the commitment, when I'm involved with something, I focus on what I do, and other people will see the results, and then recommend Gamalami to other people. And so what happened, we see it's in South Africa, you recognize commitment lenginayo tennis, and then they invited me to sing level 1. In fact, at some point I was under a mentorship program here in South Africa, which also assisted me a lot. And then I went to level 1, and then I went to level 2. Level 2, when we attended that one in Pretoria, we had other coaches from the African continent, which was a great experience for me because you get to learn from others. Exactly. So, but the big one was when I took a personal decision because I want to go for level 3. Level 3 with tennis is the highest qualification with tennis. And that one I had to travel to Egypt to do it. And so, which was a great achievement. In a big way. So, those are the things I can count as part of my, my highlights with tennis.
I am breathing. So you took, I think it's one of those, like, you took a very huge step. I want to go to level 3. As that level 1, as long as I've achieved 1, 2, 3. So now I want to come to this part that I think would seem we have technology right now. We have sports. How do you think technology, tennis has evolved over the years with the likes of the impact that also technology has over the sport? Right now, by just looking at tennis, how do you think it has evolved?
Well, tennis, a move. I remember when I went to Wimbledon, I watched players like Boris Becker, Stefan Edberg, Wayne Ferreira, and the other names. Ubugai pace at that time. Yeah. It was very slow. Yes, pace be corner, but again, you cannot compare it. Imagine Janik Sinner, Carlos Alcaraz, the pace like crazy.
It is what I love. Yeah. I have a problem with sometimes pronunciation of tennis names. Is it Denis Medvedev? Am I correct?
It's Daniel Medvedev.
Medvedev. You see? Okay, Medvedev. Guys, is it Zverev? Guys, tennis, by the way.
Yeah, so tennis improved cool. Yeah. And that's what we got to learn even at level 3. That's where you learn about how to use your body. There's what you call, in the concept, you call it biomechanics.
Okay.
Well, biomechanics, it's the study of the human body. How do you use your body to efficiently and effectively so that you can win points in the match. So even the types of like training, physical training and stuff like that, when we speak of strength and conditioning. So we get to use a number of things, to assist players to actually develop, in the other aspects, especially physically, so that they can be able to perform better. But also, us as coaches, we use our internet to actually research and find more information, because you cannot just say whether you have knowledge and then you end there, but you need to learn from others so that you can develop, and that way you'll be able to assist your own players.
I think one thing that I'm picking here now, let's come to South Africa before we come to this one that I've been waiting to ask you. South Africa, let's look at South African tennis. So far, we want to balance the when we have to compare it with obviously international tennis. You guys are now trying to bring it to the certain standard. And now, how do you see South African tennis, the standard currently?
You see, there's a common statement that we normally say, which it's in the country. We are 25 years behind the rest because of a number of things. In terms of coaching, my says I'm adapted, because even within South Africa, there are programs, that put us in a position where we get to learn a number of things. My coaches, like even the players were Europe or American, so on, never used to cook. But we are still far. But Nakon, Mpumalanga siqale compare South Africa with the rest of the world. But kumele siqale ukukhuluma ngespace lesibuso thina. Lasikhona khona nje eMbumbela eMpumalanga. How do we compare ourselves? How can we compare ourselves in Gauteng, the Western Cape, the KZN, and other provinces that are more effective in terms of their coaching programs and stuff, even my events, because my tournaments, my tournaments Western Cape, Gauteng, and so on, it becomes expensive for my players who participate, because it costs a lot to accommodation, to travel. There are a lot of things like that. Now we're in a position to have many tournaments locally. We're not to develop, because normally when we talk about coaching programs, we always say competition drives the sport. In fact, in my role as I'm also a tutor.
Okay.
I'm a tutor for Tennis South Africa, where we train coaches.
Is this something that you don't do when it comes to tennis? Because even profiling because it's long. Is this something that you don't do? I'm like, yo. When you're talking, I'm like, yo. I'm a tutor. We train my coaches. Okay.
So now it's a privilege to be able to make a contribution at that level. And it's not just when they're training, when I say in a sport. In fact, I've never facilitated a training in a sport. So it's Middleburg. Recently I went to Nelson Mandela Bay.
Okay.
And the other time I went to Sasolburg. So those are the opportunities so that we can be able to pass on the knowledge to other coaches out there. And so we must talk about competition. drives the sport. It's part of the elements of training it. Now, that's what we need in our province. We can have more competition, more tournaments, so that our players can be able to develop. Now, more comparison with the rest of the country. This is a move, and that is why I then came up with the concept Mpumalanga Open, which is a tournament at the highest level. In fact, this year, it was groundbreaking because it was the highest prize. It was the highest prize money tournament in the country. Also, the aim, next year, is to make it even bigger, so that we can attract international players to come and play. Because locally, they can be able to experience tennis at the highest level. They'll be inspired.
Very inspiring. Very. Now, getting to the one that I think I like the most that we have wanted to ask you, just to understand that also there's this part of people trying to understand, as much as you've just mentioned, you're always traveling. I know for one, I've tried to track you for an interview. You were somewhere in Mozambique, we couldn't talk. You're always up and down. So how do you actually balance now? Let's come to the reality of life. You've got a family. How things have started. I've asked, if you're married, you've got kids. How do you balance your coaching life with the other aspects of your life? Let's say now you need to navigate between these two things. Now I have to rest. I have a family, I have kids to look after. Do you get the time with you looking at your schedule right now?
No, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But I'm fully I'm not coping, no. But I know I'm always tired. Even the parents of the kids that I coach. There's one what? Are you okay? You look tired. This man, I'm tired. But I just asked him, no, I need to rest.
Exactly.
Take 2 days and stuff.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, maybe I will do that. But there's no time.
There's no time.
So, I don't know whether they're busy or what, but I'm gonna piece it. But it's very difficult because I have my own tennis academy. We call it Tennis Base.
I guess.
So operates in fact, it's a Penryn, it's a university, UMP, it's a Life and Rubik, and then we also coach a Bad Plus for Forever Resort. So that's where we are. But again, I also have other responsibilities. As you know, I'm a national coach. Sometimes I travel. Like you just said, I was in Mozambique. And then next Saturday, I'll be traveling to Botswana.
You see, guys.
We go to the next African champs, under 12 people. So that's where we're going. So when it becomes difficult, but the good thing is I have a team of people that I work with. I have 2 coaches that I work with, and they're doing a great job. And but what I want to do is to continue building, the academy so that we can respond to whatever challenges that we are.
Now, let's get to this one. Your project here, you've got a big one. You've done it in May. You're going to do it again. Tell us more about Mpumalanga Open. What really happens there in Mpumalanga Open. I think also when people get to see the People's Eye podcast, then one more clarity. I told you when I was sitting there that, you know what, people have been like, why is Sabelo coming to us? Why is Sabelo now? It's a platform where you need to clarify more about the Mpumalanga Open. The last time you did, was it a celebrity match, right?
Yeah.
You had the likes of those famous DJs, radio personalities, which was quite interesting and nice. I could see and I could understand your point of view where you're going with it. So now you're coming back. Tell us more about Mpumalanga Open. When is it happening? What's happening? So we understand the basic background of it.
Okay, Mpumalanga Open is an idea that I had. Would say I would like to bring tennis in Mpumalanga. The last time we had, tennis at that level was in 2002. In South Africa, we had a Yugoslavia, and that was it. So how do you inspire your players or bantu nangabe bangaboni lo ufuna kubadrivela kuko? So it has been my dream ukuthi I want to have a tournament that will bring high level players, which is what is happening. So we had the first one in May, from 1 to 5 May, and the biggest highlight of the tournament was to have Alec Beckley, who is number 5 in the country. He recently went to Egypt as part of the Davis Cup. Remember the Davis Cup team. Okay. And so, bringing my players afana nalawo kubooste i-tournament yethu kakhulu, and also kwabuye futhi wasibeka ku-position right whereby we are able to attract more partners and sponsors, because they now know that we can do this. So Mpumalanga Open ihlukene ngama-segments like 3.
Okay.
It's the tournament yona. If I can just mention, the tournament ihlukene like 2. There's an open section, which is a prize money event, and next year it will be between 400,000 and 500,000 prize money. Okay, and then go in a junior section.
Okay.
So they will be happening the same weekend. But also the other element is the 1-year development. Because we want Mpumalanga Open to be more of a developmental project. And that is why we have our legacy project, whereby we partner with Tennis South Africa, Mpumalanga Tennis, the Department of Culture, Sport and Recreation. And then we are expecting to see RCS Group will also partner with us, probably NetBank as well. With development or Spa. So we'll be partnering now to go out there in my communities. My coaching clinics. We'll have what you call street tennis festivals. Last week we see my shopping complex just to do activities. But also we'll be donating equipment as part of the project.
Okay.
There isn't more, but there's a school school tournament organized by Tennis South Africa. It's called Rising Star Tennis Tournament next year. And so we want to prepare the kids in the province so that next year they're able to enroll in big numbers. But again, we need to start somewhere so that we save our sister. But again, those programs will start, as soon as we are done launch this novel. So, and then the third part, at Mpumalanga Open, is the issue, the spectator program.
Okay.
A spectator program is around the issue, we see how do we bring in band, because like you mentioned earlier, sports, tennis, she's trying to see it was one sport levels along one section of society to which is not the case anymore. And so we want to find a way which is balancing. And so during Mpumalanga Open, we are going to operate what you call Mpumalanga Open Village, which is the economic hub of the tournament.
Yes.
Whereby if we have the companies would like to come and exhibit and sell their stuff and do whatever they want to do so that they can put their brands out there. So we're creating a platform for them to come. And so we know when we have these people, then we'll have the numbers. But it's not only that. Maybe it includes that part. With a connected band, you need popular faces that will come, and it's not necessarily they are stealing the show.
I understand.
But the idea is to bring in those people and schedule them. So this one will come at 10, this one will come at 1. But then, a community would always want to say,
yeah.
And Mabafig already said us 10, that's what we want. And so that's the plan.
I'm laughing because when we spoke, I told you how people, how people are actually complaining about it, but I think you've clarified it. Yeah. So I think Mutisa has a question.
Yeah, question from the bedroom.
For the bedroom side.
Yeah. There comes a stage, children will be children, they will play the sport at a young age. Then there comes a stage where they want to play it for a purpose, to be professional.
Yeah.
To be professional because they see, that player is living well. I will only mention foreign players like Serena Williams, they're living well from tennis. But look at how professional is it. If you're a professional tennis player in South Africa, can you live on it? Can you reach the stage about Serena Williams? Because this youth, when it comes to other sports like soccer, they are attracted by what they see their stars driving nice cars and all those kinds of things. So when it comes to tennis in South Africa, it's professional enough for one to play it and live on it.
Uma sikhuluma about it, sikhuluma about like development path, player. As you know, it's not difficult. It's not easy to break through sporting courts, including soccer. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, dribble abantu lapha estradini usicabanga Chiefs or Sundowns or it's to beat. No, it doesn't work like that. But you need to work very hard.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, even with tennis. One needs to work, but also the downside of the whole thing would see our country doesn't have enough tournaments or professional tournaments. Our players have to travel by overseas. They need a lot of budget to be able to go there, which is not easy.
Yeah.
And so it makes it difficult. If we were to have tournaments, and that is why we coming up with my tournaments like in Mpumalanga Open and this another tournament at Durban in June. And we are also trying to find a way we see, can we make it one tour whereby the players will come to Mpumalanga and then after that travel to KZN for the other tournament. So I will still look, but if we were to say we are clear now,
yeah.
Gonna be a player, but our number one player in the country, Lloyd Harris, currently he is struggling. He went up there, he was very close, but then recently he dropped. But I still believe that he can perform much better, and hopefully one day we'll see him. Maybe I would say top 30 or top 20 or whatever.
Guys.
Yeah, so it's something that can happen. Last year, I didn't check this year. Last year, US Open, I think, the player that won took home 55 million rands. Udlale 2 weeks.
You see?
And Abu Maskulum was the women's section, the winner to the 55.
And there's a men's section as well.
Men's section to the 55. So it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
So it means umuntu would say,
Akimisela.
dedicating he wants to do this. It's possible.
Once you dedicate yourself.
Related question from your academy or from any of the young kids you started with them, training them when they were young. Do you have any you can mention who are semi-pro, pro level, or they are close to?
Well, at this stage, we're still building. We have kids that are, are committed, working very hard. And the thing is, they also have support from their families they are very supportive. And what we need now to do, because the academy, as soon as but imagine we are at the stage where because kunema levels, kukhona tournament, a tennis tournament, which is a TSA tournament nationally, but then there are ITF tournaments, that's International Tennis Federation level. You have juniors before you figure out the professional level. So at this stage, imagine we are preparing the kids to start participating in ITF tournaments, which will be a great achievement because that will take them to a higher stage process of development. And we believe probably next year we should be able to have them play at that level. And but again, it also depends. So you see, tennis, like sport, those who let somebody so na 16 years.
Yeah.
Tennis. We can talk about Carlos Alcaraz versus Spain.
Yeah.
Utene pro one over 15 years.
Yeah.
And when Umnesa Sona 16, then
it starts here. The development side.
That is why you banabu 5 years, 6 years, 7, 8, and then me never right low. Me not tennis in that team. So it gives them enough time to develop and to have more experience. But again, I am happy with the kids or the other players that I work with. Especially there's one girl, Malenhle, angamqali zala kakhulu bese akhulile yena, but la khona manje she's able to compete nema players ledzala abadlala banabo 7, 8, but yena uqala manje sekakhulile. So for me it makes me proud because I can see very soon we'll see her performing at the highest level.
It's very interesting, very inspiring at the very same time. But then again, you being recognized in Mpumalanga, now you are part of this. There's Mobile Open, there's a lot happening, you're a coach. That alone, just didn't sit there. There were people who said, you know what, we recognize you, you're actually bringing something different. Our kids are learning, they're able to keep themselves. So I have a child who says, Mama, I love tennis, but where should I take my child to? Now I know you have academies, you're doing this and that. So it didn't end there. There's a trophy next to us. So I got to see that you've been nominated. I think before I come to the nomination part and before I come to you, the winning part of it, let's get here. I forgot to ask you a question. If you were given a chance today to coach any player, present or past, who would it be? I'm just curious to know. But here's an opportunity now. You pick from your WTA, you pick from US Open, whatever tournaments that we have, even international or locally. Here's a player. You can go to Rafael Natal. You can pick any. Which one would you go for? Say, coach. Be coach of this player. Which one would you pick? I'm curious to know.
Well, you see, coaching the current players that I work with, the national team, especially my under 16, has given me the homework.
Okay.
Yeah. Because in fact, recently they qualified Egypt, and the team will be going to Czech Republic in November. Yeah. So there's a player, Jannik Sinner is my favorite player. Yeah. So, but it's not like I would say Nafisa coach.
Okay.
But Nafisa kuba space sakhe, so that I can get to learn and understand how they do things. Alcaraz, he's a great player. For me,
they've been doing quite good lately as well.
Well, he's doing very well.
Very well.
What fascinates me, ngalendlela khona kusebenza ibody yakhe ukumove from side to side speedless. That is why I'm concerned ngaye ukuthi ngimbona hamba 10 years lendlela ngoba speedless sebenzisako indlela trainer ngayo uba prone to my injuries yabo. So but again ngafisa kuba ku space sajani kusina so that I can learn, and I believe ukuthi kuba ku space sakhe is more of a down to earth boy. I can learn so much around that space.
Okay, I think the most important part I love about the podcast is just it gives you this platform where you just have to broaden out, talk about all these things. I mean, I bet what you're actually in the likes of Alcaraz, you'd one day want to learn something or more. And also, I didn't understand and know, in tennis, you have to use your body somehow. You mentioned something like biomechanics, like you have to, actually has to be on the work as well. It actually counts to the game. So today I've learned something. Let's talk about your nomination. By the way, congratulations of being awarded. I hope my team will see what we have today here. We have a certificate, we have a trophy. It means you've gone miles after 32 years of experience in the coaching space in tennis. And then finally, God said, this is the time and this is your space to shine. You've been nominated as a Coach of the Year in tennis. First thing first, you've attended the Mpumalanga Sports Awards. It was on the 18th of September, right? If I'm not mistaken. You attended them. You went there as somebody who's been nominated and you ended up receiving the award. How was it like stepping on that stage? You're saying, you know what, yeah, receive it for something that I definitely and truly love.
About me, sounds like we're honest. It sounds like we're honest.
Yeah.
The thing is, we were nominated. It was, for me, I'm not a fan of my awards.
I know. I thought you were a little big type, but no, you're not a fan of awards. Yes.
Because I don't believe much. Well, it's important to recognize, your efforts.
Yes.
That is why sometimes, I recognize more Bandula Band who are doing great things. Because we need to, to motivate the band. But the woman nominated, what I knew would see the nomination itself was enough for me.
Yeah.
Because the nomination meant, okay, Miss Kwana Babona. But when it comes to now on the day, and then I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that. Is why it was an emotional moment. Ankas doesn't win anything.
This is the first, and I want to say, guys, this is so beautiful. This is beautiful. I saw when I was saying I went to social media, and it's so nice. It's so heavy. So this for you dedicated to your mother.
Yeah.
You said you're dedicating to your mother. And often, because I now understand, because you said she actually supported you.
Yeah.
She supported your dream, which is very rare these days to have Batali as supporting us. Not now, I think they do, but and back in the days, it was very rare for just a parent to say you wanted to do something like this. So this is very beautiful. Very beautiful. Very.
Yeah. You see, Jovan, I couldn't believe
it. Yeah.
More, being awards,
nominate, yeah.
And I went there in London. Well, there was this other coach.
They also Mahua was there in the lineups. I saw the lineup. I was like, very intimidating. I know what's like. So,
but Mabita Kamalami, I went up. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know. I'm full. If I'm honest, I sit down, you see, uma bangibida lapha ngiyokhuluma. Ngicabanga okay, mangifika lapha I will say 1 2 3. But uma ngibusy, prepare ngicabanga, ngithi
You'll say whatever.
Yeah. So uma ngifika lapha ke I didn't know where to start, but I just went with the flow and yeah. So here we are today.
Coach of the Year for 2024. It goes down in the history, in the books of the Mpumalanga Sports Awards. It's there. You are the Coach of the Year in Mpumalanga for 2024, which is incredible. And I think you actually deserve it. You've walked this journey. You deserve to have this. It's so heavy, guys. Did you actually touch it? And like, if you ever hold it, I want So it's been a very incredible time. I think I've learned so much, and I think it's going to be a very inspiring story that it's going to get people talking, people wanting to know more, people wanting to be part of Mbombela Open, people bringing their kids into your academy, wanting to tennis. So we're trying our level best for people to understand that sports is broad. Too complex. You get to understand with this tennis and what it means. What is it? How does it work? So maybe just in closing, we go back, you summarize, you give us details. Where are you based? How people can find you and all those things. Lama Academy, where you're actually situated. And also you've already given us details about the Mbombela Open, which I definitely know for sure. Before we close, okay, my ghost guy has, okay, Patricia has a question.
Yeah. This one is very important.
Okay.
Because you work in rural areas as well. The challenge being I'm involved in sports, so I want to know how do you navigate this issue of parents not supporting the kids to participate in sport. Because it's a difficulty. Sometimes you're training them in town, then they have to travel from the townships to come and train. Sometimes there's no money for transport. Yeah. They are not supported. There's no parent who brings them there, and watch them. They are playing, they are training, especially us. How do you navigate that?
Well, it's always a challenge because the problem or the issue starts where we have to go to town.
Okay.
Because we have to go to town because there are no facilities. Which is a problem. But then the issue is how do we then make it work? And how do we make it work in a situation where the parents don't even know what's happening? Yeah. And how do you get the parents to be interested and to support the kids because they don't know where to start. Look west with tennis, it's an expensive sport.
Very, yeah.
And umangabe you have to support. If we have to support the player, there's a lot that is needed. You need equipment, you need money for traveling and stuff like that. It's a massive challenge.
That's cool.
And you find that even that is why in Malukshini, Nakona, in rural communities, you find my parents don't even know, just like Usok. You find they don't even know if my boy or my child is playing.
Like so, they have understand.
They always wait for them to come back home. Balenze usinakafika ekhaya bamthethisa. Kuthi ubuyaphi? Yeah. Because they're not part of the development. And which is something that I believe we need to try and and teach our parents so that they can be able to support the kids. But because most of the time they have no clue what is happening in their children's lives. But we have a challenge. We see, uma ngabe kumele umntwana asuke kabhokweni etela. Kuqala the parents don't have time or not that they don't have, they don't make time.
In fact, they don't.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Okay. And I've seen it's sometimes checking with the weekend. And sometimes I feel they're selfish.
I'm gonna told you, Ngati, I'm sorry to cut you, but I think we were never aware, I would say, because as I said, of having parents who actually understand we could have went professional with some of the things that we used to do in school because they were never there. They never met up. Even the homework, guys, even the same thing. Like, they were never there. They were like, I figured it out on your own. What are you doing? You to be home. So how important it is then, because but that they should actually be part of their children's daily activities, even at school. So they must understand because we can never all be gifted academically. So in sports, it's where he or she excels. So, but to understand the importance of supporting their kids.
Yeah, but we shouldn't get tired.
Yeah.
To send the message out there. And globally, we exaggerate and we see they don't understand some of the parents. Okay, but you see life in the way it's a global village. Mine is a space whereby all of us are here. You find, but they are more involved with what TikTok about business, dance, but pretending as if they
don't know. Challenge.
But you see, lifestyle places.
Yeah.
Laba yakhona weekends. Bese ngitshela ukuthi baspenda malini. Yebo, and ungathola ukuthi mhlawumbe imali 600 rand ngenyanga bebangakhona uku-invest lo mntwana bese ayithola coaching or ayithola seat somehow so that I can develop. But mina I feel ukuthi manje batala they are selfish. Focus on who prefer ukuthi ahambe ukhipha 1000 800 enhloko kumele 500 enhloko and not invest. You see, it's not about tennis.
It's not. Yeah,
but there are other stuff that we need to focus on so that bantwana bethu bangakhona ukuthi right. But we fail to understand ukuthi thina sesiphila kubona. Manje thina wazi sina China
no.
Which is not the case.
You've just mentioned the issues of TikTok. It's where we spend, to be honest, we spend most of our time in. Challenge. I have to do all the challenges instead of focus on banning. I mean, it's also very important also to teach Bumage who are young now. If my child says, I want to play soccer, I want to try this, I must be willing to find a school. So my academies, they are open. I want to do whatever. So hence the likes of tennis come in. Tennis. We don't even have cricket academies, guys. Let's just talk about some other sports. We need such things, which is good.
Yeah, and what I've noticed, there was a teenage almost compared.
The cool, yes.
Even though sometimes I feel it's too much, because we figure to coaching. Better by Kijima, but we have piano, we have
fast, they're rushing somewhere else.
Swimming, we have hockey. There's a lot of stuff which is good for the kids. Because they're trying everything so that at some point they're able to specialize.
Nice.
But the kids, we don't even have time. Yeah, because that's important. As soon as we discuss this, so now, so we told us about feed, about business, WhatsApp, about who knows who went down, but at some point they will complain. We say, no, and I want to smoke busy, and I'm busy WhatsApp.
But at least they're showing up,
I mean, but being there is very important.
Yeah.
That's encouraging.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's difficult. It's a simple thing, the way I look at it. Parents go to places of entertainment. Why don't you take your cooler box, go there, sit by the court, and watch your child while you're busy enjoying yourself? Simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't be difficult. And that is why good tennis, we're actually creating that, that atmosphere whereby it can be social space where you can go with your cooler box.
Chill.
And just sit.
I love this kind of environment where I don't love crowded spaces. So I love sports. So in as much as I love sports, I love chilling in those sports spaces where clearly, and I just chill. I don't love crowded places. As long as I'm going to be watching something, this is what I'm actually doing. Now let's discuss this. So I think that's why I go Mpumalanga Open. Inviting me or not, I'm coming.
So Kruger National Park. I think we should start with the launch. So we should launch on the 2nd of November, Kruger National Park. But the reason we say Kruger National Park is because we want to package Mpumalanga Open around tourism so that when we bring in the tennis community from around the world, they should know they have so many things to do, not just the tennis tournament. By the way, when we had Mpumalanga Open, we had 192 participants, even though we expected 150, but we had 92. So going to next year, we are expecting the number will be very big. But they say it was our first tournament. But we're excited because we had players from Mozambique, from Lesotho, from Zimbabwe, from Eswatini. So now when we say Cape Town last week, and I got to interact, we had coaches from 18 countries. And so we, through network, we were able to negotiate. But you know what? Please bring your players to Mpumalanga Open next year. So I'm expecting we will have more players next year. I'll be happy if I can have players from Kenya, from Zambia. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Is my house okay with questions now? Are you guys covered?
Okay. Maybe we can be media partners.
How exactly? So I guess it is on the launch of the Mpumalanga Open, the 2nd of November, 2024.
Yeah, definitely. I will share the detail with you. It will be a 3-day program. We'll have a briefing session with the MEC and the president, the Tennis South Africa, and other dignitaries, especially my close partners, including the MTPA. And then the following day we'll be taking the tour with the celebrities that we have. At some point we're going to announce them.
I was about to ask, I was about to ask one that I don't know if the ones that I have in mind, are they still part of it?
Well, the ones that they will be part of it. Okay. But then there are two this year. Okay. But the important thing we'll see they are well known by TV, but they're in Mpumalanga, and so that's our direction we're taking, which we want to use and work with Mpumalanga to promote.
People are going to kill you.
Yeah, so that's the plan. And so then we'll be taking the tour, panorama routes, and then in the evening we'll have a dinner somewhere with our dignitaries and everyone, and then the day of the launch. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been a very great afternoon. I've enjoyed every minute of this. Sabelo Mathebula for actually honoring us. I've been saying thank you. I'll say thank you and thank you and thank you.
No, kubonga mina kakhulu for the opportunity platform finally to tell my story. I feel but
there can be part 2. We can have part 2. Don't worry, because of sometimes we have time, but there's always there can be part 2 any day, any time. And it's every single day you build up. Yeah. We come, we talk any day. So thank you so much again for watching us on the People's Eye podcast, the first segment of the sports. It's been lovely. So we're talking to Sabelo Mathebula. What a very inspiring story. So if you love tennis, this is the man you should actually see. This is the man you should contact. Us on social media. You should just run after him. If you have a child that says, I want to be part of any tennis, I love tennis. So you had to make sure you are all covered. But then again, it's been a very lovable and a very nice and interesting afternoon. So from Mina and the rest of my team, we love you so much and thank you so much for loving us. Please do not forget to subscribe. Like our channel, the People's Eye Podcast. It's already there, it's running, and make sure you are part of the conversation. You don't miss out on nice things, guys. You don't want to miss out on great stories. So this is the platform. Thank you so much. We love you and bye.